Arizona planting guide for the month of November. I compiled a list of things I can grow where I am, southern Arizona. You can do the same. First, find out what grows in your climate zone and note the months indicated to plant and harvest, and then plot them on a spreadsheet. What is a spreadsheet? It has rows and columns. Put the months at the top of each column and the crops under each month, as I have shown here. If you can grow lettuce from October to February, then under each of those months you paste the word lettuce. This makes it easy to plan ahead. For those crops you want to grow, get seeds 30 to 60 days ahead of planting. If you are saving seeds from fruits and vegetables you are eating, then the seeds cost you nothing. And you have a good chance of getting back all the money you paid for the fruits those seeds came from. Free lunch. Imagine. Planting is one good reason to save seeds, but selling the seeds is also a way to recover all that you paid for the fruit so you can eat free like those in government. I think everyone should eat free. How do you feel about getting a free lunch? I have arranged my list from most profitable to least. And these dollar figures came from the Square Foot Gardener, who says that you can grow $16.20 worth of lettuce each year in just 1 square foot of garden space. In order to have fun, I compute how much I'd make if I had an entire acre planted in lettuce, and that's what we're going to do in this video, just to have some fun. I think everyone should have fun. How about you? You may be surprised to know that the winter months have the longest list of crops that I can grow here in Arizona. The summer is just too hot and dry to grow much of anything except okra and melons. I love okra in jambalaya. In June the list is very short because the desert is 125 degrees Fahrenheit at times and always over 100 degrees even in the shade. I don't know how animals survive in Arizona summers, but I'm providing food and water daily to help them out as best I can to lift the burden of the heat and the dryness. In November it's much cooler and they don't drink as much water. The gopher that eats everything is not seen at present. He vanished in October and will come out on Christmas Eve. I suspect that he hibernates. Until he wakes up, I have watermelon, cucumbers, tomatoes, and spinach, and I might even be able to have some up until Christmas when he will wake from his nap and come out of his hole with a voracious appetite, and that will be the end of my garden. I took some pictures today. I want to show them to you. This watermelon is about 4 inches long at this time. Is it a beauty? And these are jalapeno peppers. Save your seeds and plant them. You can also sell your seeds to other people who will plant them. It's an excellent time to plant lettuce. Lettuce, $16.20. You see the number next to lettuce on my spreadsheet. Again, this is a list of crops I can grow in southern Arizona and how much they are worth per square foot annually. I created this list so I know which crops to plant in order of profitability, just in case I want to sell the excess production. So far, I have not sold anything. To me, it's too valuable to sell. I had some pickles in a jar. They give you a lot of vinegar, and I save it. Cut up jalapeno peppers, and they keep until I have some spaghetti sauce, or some pizza, or any kind of casserole, soup, stew, curry dish, meat dish, or if I just crave the hot flavor in my mouth. I have peppers growing outdoors in a large pot, and I counted 6 today on just one plant. They are jalapenos, and I have them growing indoors as well. Consider lettuce for a minute if you're interested in turning seeds worth pennies into dollars in a month. If you plant an acre in lettuce and have customers to buy it, as Glenn Duncan in Florida has, what is an acre of lettuce worth? I designed a tower to grow things hydroponically, and I said it would cost $600 to build. Glenn Duncan built it for about $200, and he started selling vegetables to restaurants. Now he's a billionaire. Just joking. One of those restaurants wants him to set up a hydroponic garden on the roof of the restaurant and have Glenn maintain it. I don't see any money in maintaining someone's garden. If Glenn sets it up, they'll have the dishwasher maintain it, and Glenn will lose his cash customer. You lose control when you help someone set up their hydroponic system on their roof. Grow things on your roof and tell the restaurant owner to send his dishwasher over to get the produce and tell him to make sure he has cash to pay for it. As soon as it's set up, the restaurant owner who put it there to save money will save even more by telling Glenn that he doesn't require his services anymore. And Glenn might not be able to reap the benefits of setting up a hydroponic system on someone else's roof. Who gets the profit from this rooftop garden? The owner of the restaurant wants to cut his food costs. Instead of paying $1 for lettuce, he wants to pay a penny and grow it himself. That's why he's installing a rooftop garden. It's for the profit. You may want the profit, but he's not going to let you have it. It's his roof, and you're welcome there only a little while. Once the hydroponic garden is functioning, that restaurant owner will take it over and kick you off the roof. You got goxed. He's not going to let Glenn have that profit. Anyone can discover that a seed costs a penny, and the plant, which is 30 days old, is worth $1 or more. Do you think a guy is smart enough to open a restaurant, and he isn't smart enough to ask questions about the seed costs, the hydroponic system, and won't discover ways to take over the operation? Don't be naive. If he lets Glenn have all that profit, then what's in it for the restaurant owner? That would defeat the purpose of setting up the rooftop garden. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop on that one. Let's hope they both make money, but I would not be beholden to anyone. If you know how to keep a seed alive during germination and see it to maturity, don't set up anything for anyone else. The big money is in growing the crops and providing them at reduced prices to those around you. Every American is eating fruits and vegetables every day just to live. It's one habit we can't kick. Be on the right side of this habit by producing food for others. If the stores demand $1.49 for a head of lettuce, offer it for $1 and capture that customer. You're not going to make a dent in that store's gross sales. Those stores should grow food themselves, eliminating most of the transportation costs, but they make enough buying from faraway farmers and selling to the general public. The grocery business developed over many decades and has become a custom for Americans and Europeans to go to the store to get what they need. If you ever did a study of the demand for fruits and vegetables, you'd be floored. People are very naive about the thousands of tons of fruits and vegetables that are consumed in every city on earth every day. I see a new business emerging from the demand and the hydroponic ideas that have been proven. Stores are charging too much, and they are not changing with the times. To cut costs, grocery stores need to grow locally, sell locally, and eliminate the oil companies' cut on all food shipped and consumed. On most foods, we don't need products from farmers in other countries. Most of that can be grown indoors hydroponically, and that's why I'm experimenting with the ideas and designing systems. Every day I send my designs to someone. They are free, and I want them to prosper from my systems after proving that they work. I feel very happy when someone like Glenn Duncan writes on my channel that he's found success and is selling fruits and vegetables to restaurants. It would be a shame to see him get goxed by a restaurant owner. That lettuce seed costs less than a penny, and the mature lettuce is worth at least $1. You can create value without much investment by helping that seed germinate and grow. But the possession should remain under your control if you want to be the beneficiary of those sprouting seeds and their rapid growth in value, some 10,000% monthly. Remember that a penny can grow to $1 in a month with seed germination. We want to ride that wave like a surfer rides nature's tide. The wave at sea and the genetic instructions are already in the seed. All you have to do is get your surfboard and ride the wave to the top and hang 10. Keep a seed warm and moist, and it will do magic for you. It will turn a penny into $1 and $1 into $100. If you reach the next round, you're taking $100 to $10,000 in 1 month. That's exciting, but going from $10,000 to $1 million is really fun. It all starts with a penny, so anyone can enjoy. Lettuce seeds cost much less than a penny, and the mature plant is worth more than $1. But I like to be conservative, and so I'm saying a penny to $1 in a month is good enough. Carry that growth out a few generations and see what you get. A penny to $1 in month 1, $1 to $100 in month 2, $100 to $10,000 in month 3, and by the end of month 4, the $10,000 has grown to $1 million and you retire if you can find the customers to buy your stuff. Don't worry about what to do with the dollars you create from thin air. Just worry about creating them and solve the other problems when you get there. You have all month to think about these problems while you're watching the lettuce grow. Think about it. Now back to the question, at $16.20 per square foot, how much money is created on 43,560 square feet each month by growing lettuce? The answer is $705,672. Let me repeat that. On 1 acre of ground, growing lettuce, one can create $705,672 in value. The green stuff, not dollars, lettuce. How much is an acre of land in Arizona? I can get 1.25 acres with water and electricity for $14,000 if the owner hasn't sold it already. Could I pay for the land with lettuce in just 1 year? I could pay for it in just 1 month, I think. If the square foot gardener is right, that's $8,468,064 per year, just from lettuce. And the square foot gardener doesn't grow vertically or hydroponically, at least not from what I've read. Have you ever read about the square foot gardener? This figure of $16.20 is before QE1, QE2, QE3, and all that other counterfeiting that's been going on with the Federal Reserve, who thinks old people need higher prices in stores. They must think it goes well with their fixed incomes or something. This is not government doing this to old people. This is a private cartel of banks who convinced the cowards in Congress back in 1913 to hand over control of the nation's currency, and that was not their right to do so. They violated the U.S. Constitution when they gave a private cartel of bankers monopoly control over the nation's currency, and this has gone on for over 100 years now. It's time to end this. Old people will starve to death, unable to pay for food, medicine, and housing with their meager incomes. I hope they will get creative and learn how to counterfeit money too, using seeds and a hydroponic system. If you have old people in your family, try to help them out with this idea, would you? If you like turnips, November is the month to plant them. I do not plant turnips, but I like to eat them in beef soup if they are cooked until tender. They have a nice flavor. It's a little spicy. I suppose they are good for you. I like radishes in my salad and cucumbers too. If I get Swiss chard, I'm even happier. According to the Square Foot Gardener, you get back $9.90 per square foot with turnips and $6.22 per square foot with radishes. If you sell lettuce, your customers might like some radishes and chard, so keep that in mind. After the first year, you might grow just for the fun of it, because these figures I'm throwing out to you are lavish and proven real by the Square Foot Gardener and all those who followed his teachings and planted profitable gardens. You plant a garden first for your own use. That alone justifies planting and turning pennies into dollars so you don't have to go to the store and pay $1 for a small amount of lettuce that you can grow for just a penny. The stores are asking $1.50 for a head of lettuce now, and people who live near you might be very happy to give you $1 for the same. Then you turned a penny into $1 in a month. Next month, do the same. When you have enough money, buy an acre of ground and go to town with this idea. You can't sell an acre of lettuce to anyone. It's too much. But you can build up customers who buy lettuce this month, and next month you have radishes and cucumbers and Swiss chard. All the crops you see on this November list are recommended for November. I compiled the list by my own research. I started with the question, what can I grow in Arizona? Each crop had its own span. Plant 1 month, harvest another month. Some plants like it hot, and some like it cool. Some crops like melons are planted in June and July. You won't see them on the November planting list. Make up your own list for your area, and each month make sure you have some seeds to plant. I spent $50 on seeds at Johnny's Selected Seeds, and they sent me 94,000 seeds. The bill was $51 including shipping. So how much did I pay per seed? That's 19 seeds for a penny. But I bought in bulk. I shelled out $50, don't forget. Get some friends excited about growing money and split the costs. If there are 5 of you, it's only $10 each. 19,000 seeds each. If every seed grows to $1, then each of you traded $10 for $19,000. When you have the seeds in your possession, they have value. Offer them on Craigslist for 10 cents each. That's 188 times what you paid for them, or 18,800% markup. I was in the clothing business in the 1970s. I bought pants and shirts for $5 and marked them up to $10. That's a keystone markup, or you could say that the anticipated selling price is 50% cost and 50% markup, but you don't always sell an item for double what you paid for it. That's a tough business. And you have shoplifters to watch because they'll steal you blind. I had gangs come in 4 or 5 at a time and distract my clerk and grab a handful of clothes from a rack and go out the door with it. After that experience, I look at the 18,800% markup and say, this is much better. When you make a sale, 99% is markup and 1% is cost of merchandise. Some people will bitch and moan that they have to buy fertilizer and they have to water the plants. Okay, so don't plant. Don't turn $10,000 into $1 million. Just get a slaving job and earn your pay. You get up every morning from the alarm clock's warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above, people pushing, people shoving, and the girls who try to look pretty. If your train's on time, you can get to work by 9 and start your slaving job to get your pay. If you ever get annoyed, look at me. I'm self-employed. I love to plant lettuce all day. Go ahead, work that job. And when you get a paycheck, you will see that a private corporation, which behaves much like a mafia, called the IRS, has taken a big chunk, illegally, out of your earnings. And what law gives them the right to do this? There is a lot of debate about which law it is. It seems that nobody has ever found that law, but it doesn't stop some juries from sending people off to prison for violating the law that nobody can find, does it? Congress is looking the other way as the workers get raped repeatedly year after year. So don't plant a garden. Just keep that job and go nowhere. Have the guys on Wall Street raid your pension fund. Whenever anyone talks about planting a garden, go back to your bitching and moaning and make sure you discourage other people from planting, because we don't want you to have to water any plants or buy any fertilizer. We want you to pay the IRS for the rest of your miserable life. We want the IRS mafia to seize your bank account when you don't pay them and send you to prison as an intimidation to others who try to break the law that doesn't exist. Now that I've made my point about planting, consider an acre of turnips at $9.90 per square foot, $431,244 each crop. I think turnips are likely a 90-day crop, and I wouldn't waste my time. That's only $1,724,976 per year, and I don't have time for that. Plant your entire acre in radishes at $6.22 per square foot, and what do you have? It's even less, $270,943, and I think radishes mature in just 30 days. So on an annual basis, you might produce a value of $3,251,318 on 1 acre in a year, using the square foot gardener's technique. I'm not sure what he does, but I'm fairly sure that he doesn't go vertical. Once you go vertical, you multiply what your land can produce. You might be able to grow as much in your backyard as farmers grow on an entire acre of ground. And if you have a building of 40,000 square feet, then you have an indoor hydroponic garden, and going vertical might generate many millions annually. Because this idea makes so much sense, and because commercial buildings are vacant like never before, I foresee a trend. Landlords are going to convert their commercial buildings to indoor hydroponic gardens, and they will produce more than flea markets. They will bring down the price of food because it's grown locally and sold locally, and 90% of the transportation costs vanish. The oil companies get doxxed. Ha! I received an invitation from a viewer who had such an opportunity, and he wanted me to join him in making his building productive. But I'm not an experienced hydroponic gardener. There are ongoing experiments here in Arizona that I'm running, and I'm not really ready to rush off into mass production. I'm finding success in the desert, and I know more today than I knew 4 years ago when I arrived from California. where one can plant tomatoes and water them once a week and everything is copacetic. I tried that in Arizona and the plants were all dead in 2 hours. Where are we? The moon? No, you're in Arizona. Oh, it feels like a blast furnace. That's the desert, boy. Get used to it. You wear wet clothes to keep cool. And you have the air conditioner on and fans blowing on high. That's what it's like in June, July, August, and September. In October, you don't have to shower with your clothes on anymore. One good rain and it seems to soak up all that heat, and some nights are even chilly. I'm learning how to grow things hydroponically here in the sunny Sonoran Desert. And after 4 years, I'm starting to get the hang of it. I believe I can grow food here in abundance, but shipping it long distances is out of the question. I think I can create over $1 million annually on just 1.25 acres of ground, but my brother stole this property out of the family trust, and it's in his name now, and so I don't want to invest a lot in infrastructure. So don't ask me if I'm a trillionaire yet. What you guys who asked this question are not aware of is that something might be possible, but it takes a long time to get there, where you can validate the theoretical principles. They did the H-bomb on the blackboard first. Then they built it, and it worked. What was the first thing they did with it? They dropped it on Hiroshima and Norimaki. Wait a minute, that's Japanese food. It's not Norimaki, it's Nagasaki. You don't drop atomic weapons on Japanese food. You drop it on Japanese children. Isn't war stupid? I hate war. I love creating value with seeds, though. So let's continue with our calendar. We're almost done. There are few plants as beautiful as Swiss chard. I don't know how the Swiss do it, but I'd love to watch if they'd let me. Ha! At $6.14 per square foot, the numbers are almost the same as radishes, so I won't elaborate on the production of an acre of ground. $270,000 per crop is possible if you don't go vertical and multiply that by 5, 6, or 7. I know you can grow Swiss chard in Arizona because I've done it. Ask the gophers. They ate my crops. The cats come around at night and wait for the gophers. I can hear the cats slamming into the house as it's trying to catch them. Sometimes I find a pile of blood, so don't hate the gopher. It has its own struggle for survival here in the Sonoran Desert. In November, you can grow peas, and that crop is worth $4.50 per square foot, according to the Square Foot Gardener. An acre in snow peas creates a value of $196,020 per crop. I love to eat snow peas and lima beans, but I don't grow them because $196,000 is chump change. My favorites are tomatoes and peppers, but November is not the time to plant them, as you can clearly see by this list. January is when you start tomatoes. Like I said, it's November, and I have peppers and tomatoes outside growing, and the tomato plants are flowering, and the peppers are ready to pick, but I don't pick them until I need them, or they turn red. To my surprise, some actually turned red, and I figured they're mature, and I picked them. Onions are so cheap at the store that I don't even bother planting them, or anything else on this list, with few exceptions. I am growing spinach at this time, and I had some today. I want to eat it before the gopher gets it. I grow parsley, and I have some indoors. It's very healthy and tasty. It's very nice to pick some and put it in a soup, or just put it in the blender with water and make a parsley drink out of it. If you chew parsley, it gets between your teeth, and that's very annoying. I have to floss it out because it drives me crazy. At $4.14 per square foot, onions aren't worth your time. But if you like to grow them and cook them in dishes, then why not? It's a case of space, a space case. November is the planting season for bulbing onions, so go for it. Onion seeds are something I have not had in a long time. I have never had an onion go to seed. My garlic sprouted in the fridge, and I put it in the yard to grow, and it grew well. Then the gopher found it, and he must have thought that it was utterly delicious, because he ate it right down to the root, and then he ate the roots, which is the garlic. I was surprised that a small animal would love the taste of garlic, but he ate everything, and that stuff is expensive. The next time garlic sprouts, I'm going to keep it indoors next to a sunny window. Travertine floors and garlic plants, what a combination. Well, I have jalapeno peppers growing in my living room right now. I will not attempt Brussels sprouts this November, and probably not next. People don't value this crop, and I love to eat them, but seldom buy any. There just isn't much excitement for these crops. I think selling seeds is a good business for kids. The markup is fantastic. It takes very little money to start the business, and people come to you to pick up the goods. Actually, I have never sold a seed, and I have at least 150,000 seeds right this minute, mostly jalapeno peppers and other pepper varieties. Each seed is worth 10 cents, so how much am I worth in seeds alone? $15,000, but that's not where the big money is. Plant those seeds and grow that $15,000 by 10,000% in a single month. That's where the big money is. Am I right about that? How much is that? 1.5 million? Would you rather sell the seeds or hold on to them and try to turn that 15,000 into 1.5 million in a month? It is theoretically possible to do that, even if it's not very practical to do it. Look at month 2. 1.5 million becomes what? 150 million. These numbers are not realistic, even though the value of the seed does in fact grow by 100 times its value in just 1 month. This is true of peppers and tomatoes, I have found. A tomato seed is free. You take it out of your sandwich. But I put a value of 1 penny on it, and once it germinates, it's worth $1, isn't it? Can you buy a 4-inch tomato plant for $1 today? They are $1.50. Check store prices and tell me if I'm right. If it only takes 30 days to go from seed to seedling, a 4-inch plant, a penny to $1 is 100 times the value. It's a growth rate of 10,000% in a month. I'm not lying. This is true. But few people realize that they're sitting on a gold mine. The tomato in your sandwich can make you rich. Germinate seeds and create money out of thin air. Carbon dioxide in the air and sunshine do all the work. All you have to do is keep the seed moist and warm. Can you do that? Okay, then you qualify to make money. Okay, I said I grow parsley and spinach, and I also grow cilantro, way down there at the bottom of this list. And the rest of these crops on the November list I don't bother with. What I want is to be able to go to my garden and pick any of about 25 things I like to eat. I don't want to pay anyone for the privilege of eating them, and I don't want to work a slaving job to get whatever's left after the IRS mafia has taken all they want from it. I want customers to come to me, pay me in cash, and leave with things that I sold for $1 that cost me a penny to raise. This is how I want to create money out of thin air and mimic the parasitic bankers at the Federal Reserve. That's all for this video. We'll see you next time, okay? This is the Arizona planting guide for the month of November. I compiled a list of things I can grow where I am, southern Arizona. You can do the same. First, find out what grows in your climate zone, and note the months indicated to plant and harvest, and then plot them on a spreadsheet. What is a spreadsheet? It has rows and columns. Put the months at the top of each column and the crops under each month, as I have shown here. If you can grow lettuce from October to February, then under each of those months you paste the word lettuce. This makes it easy to plan ahead. For those crops you want to grow, get seeds 30 to 60 days ahead of planting. If you are saving seeds from fruits and vegetables you are eating, then the seeds cost you nothing. And you have a good chance of getting back all the money you paid for the fruits those seeds came from. Free lunch. Imagine. Planting is one good reason to save seeds, but selling the seeds is also a way to recover all that you paid for the fruit so you can eat free like those in government. I think everyone should eat free. How do you feel about getting a free lunch? I have arranged my list from most profitable to least. And these dollar figures came from the Square Foot Gardener, who says that you can grow $16.20 worth of lettuce each year in just 1 square foot of garden space. In order to have fun, I compute how much I'd make if I had an entire acre planted in lettuce, and that's what we're going to do in this video, just to have some fun. I think everyone should have fun. How about you? You may be surprised to know that the winter months have the longest list of crops that I can grow here in Arizona. The summer is just too hot and dry to grow much of anything except okra and melons. I love okra in jambalaya. In June the list is very short because the desert is 125 degrees Fahrenheit at times and always over 100 degrees even in the shade. I don't know how animals survive in Arizona summers, but I'm providing food and water daily to help them out as best I can to lift the burden of the heat and the dryness. In November it's much cooler and they don't drink as much water. The gopher that eats everything is not seen at present. He vanished in October and will come out on Christmas Eve. I suspect that he hibernates. Until he wakes up, I have watermelon, cucumbers, tomatoes, and spinach, and I might even be able to have some up until Christmas when he will wake from his nap and come out of his hole with a voracious appetite, and that will be the end of my garden. I took some pictures today. I want to show them to you. This watermelon is about 4 inches long at this time. Is it a beauty? And these are jalapeno peppers. Save your seeds and plant them. You can also sell your seeds to other people who will plant them. It's an excellent time to plant lettuce. Lettuce, $16.20. You see the number next to lettuce on my spreadsheet. Again, this is a list of crops I can grow in southern Arizona and how much they are worth per square foot annually. I created this list so I know which crops to plant in order of profitability, just in case I want to sell the excess production. So far, I have not sold anything. To me, it's too valuable to sell. I had some pickles in a jar. They give you a lot of vinegar, and I save it. Cut up jalapeno peppers, and they keep until I have some spaghetti sauce, or some pizza, or any kind of casserole, soup, stew, curry dish, meat dish, or if I just crave the hot flavor in my mouth. I have peppers growing outdoors in a large pot, and I counted 6 today on just one plant. They are jalapenos, and I have them growing indoors as well. Consider lettuce for a minute if you're interested in turning seeds worth pennies into dollars in a month. If you plant an acre in lettuce,